Hey everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell. Of course, I'm Russell, and welcome to a new video. And today we're at the supermarket Auchan. Now today is the 18th of March 2022. Of course, we know there's quite a bit going on around the world right now, and particularly very close to where I am here in Moscow, Russia. And I just thought I'd take you for a bit of a walk through the supermarket so we can take a look at, how busy it is. What's empty, what's full. Let's have a look at maybe a few of the prices here and there, but we're not really going to probably focus too much on the pricing, just more about stock levels, I think, and just to see, are the supermarkets stripped empty here? Are people panic buying? And things like that. Okay, let's go. Now, right before we walk in, I just thought I'd point out here, this is SberBank, which is an online shopping website where you can do your shopping, particularly supermarket shopping, online, and then you can arrange for either pickup or delivery, one or the other. So you'll see these guys sort of running around frantically here with their trolleys, kind of preparing everything, and having them ready for people to just do basically a car park pickup. If you are from Australia, we do have that now in place in Coles and Woolies and places like that. But you'll see here what they have to do. They actually literally have to go through the store and buy what they need from their list on their phone application. Then they literally go and pay for it at the checkout. Now check out this. You'll actually see kind of people just kind of queuing up like it's an everyday checkout to pay for the goods. Now we know from Australia basically that's all done back of house and there's no transacting. So the stuff, remember here in these sweaters, basically put the stuff through the checkout, the lady charges it and creates a receipt, and then they kind of prepare them in these bins for pickup then, and this guy goes off and then takes them there for collection or delivery. Just thought it was very interesting just to see this. The one thing they do very well here too is when you come out of the supermarkets, there's actually a kind of a little preparation table here. There's no paper in this roll here, but there's string, some scissors, and you can basically wrap your shopping in case you're going to go on the bus or go home somehow. You can rest your bags here as well, so you can just maybe change them into your own bags or into a backpack or something. It's kind of neat. And also all the staff here at the registers actually get to sit down on chairs, which is kind of nice as well. You're not standing up, which is kind of just convenient, and that's all, So yeah, you'll see one of the ladies right here just sort of waiting for someone to come through. Здравствуйте. So it's kind of neat. I just find it very interesting that, where, back, I'm going to say 80s, 90s, they had chairs for people in the supermarkets in the rest of the world. And then here in Europe and in Russia particularly, it's very common. So I'll just point out this first area as we walk in. It's now basically kind of the end of winter, autumn time. And it's kind of coming to seedling time for people who have their dachas and their country houses. So you can actually buy the plants right here, ready to kind of put in. Raspberries, tomatoes, cherries, gooseberries, some sort of flowers as well. And they have just literally an entire aisle of seeds, which is just amazing to see how many seeds. Have you ever seen this many seeds in a supermarket before? Yeah, it's very neat. So if you don't want to grow your own from seed, you can buy them kind of ready to plant in. You've also got some nice decorations here, like garden gnomes, but these are Russian style, so you can get yourself lassi. Anybody knows lassi? I think that some people do. Oh, and they've got what's this, Dalmatian? Different doggies. They're not very expensive either, This big, I don't know what's this called, like a big bear. I don't know, moose? What's that thing called? I don't know. Some ducks, more dogs. Yeah, so they kind of have a gardening section, and they kind of put everything together here. So you got the water bottles, you got the soil, and then the grafting liquid as well, and then the different sort of seed starters. Even they got the boots over here as well for your dacha. I did actually make a little tour of a friend's dacha. I'll link that in the video, so if you want to watch that, Might be interesting for you. So let's kind of jump over to a couple of the aisles where we know there's a bit of a shortage. Now, this is a huge supermarket. They do actually have the alcohol section here where you've got to actually pay right here, and actually cigarettes as well. So there's actually a checkout. Plenty of vodka. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aisles kind of combined, the alcohol section. So it's nice and large just for the booze, I guess. Now let's go and find some empty shelves. I don't see any yet. So I'm sure there's some somewhere. You know, Russia is very self-sufficient in a way, right? So it's really just those Western brands that are clearly imported that you can't find. Let's see if we can spot something. Now, I just thought I'd point out the soda section because people are telling me there's no more Coca-Cola, no more Pepsi, and it's right here. Now, I don't think this is absolutely any difference to normal shopping times. Now, Ashan in the day was a cheap place to come shopping. It really was. Now, I find that some of the prices here aren't really as amazing as they used to be. So yeah, the Schweppes. No, there's over here Sprite, Miranda, Fanta. They're all here still. So there's plenty of supplies. Now, I finally found some empty shelves, finally. There will be a few more coming in the video, don't worry. But this is the aisle where is the washing powders. You know washing powders, right? But basically, the one that's sort of run out is just the Western brands that are basically not in stock. So it's not empty in any way. Everything is still here. Now, the one thing that I'll kind of point out, like with my wife, she's now looking at the back of all the labels of everything and kind of looking where they're made, where she's buying something, you know, maybe it's not going to be any more stock. Definitely there's plenty of toilet paper. There's no shortage of that. We have an aisle of toilet paper right here. Like an aisle, literally, on both sides. So yeah, there's not any shortages in that whatsoever as well. Here is the far end of the supermarket. Kind of more like the homeware section. And now that IKEA's closed, you know, this is going to become more popular than ever. There isn't kind of too many people around, but yeah, there's aisles and aisles of things in this supermarket. You can literally buy everything for your house and apartment in the one store if you want to. And there is sort of brand names, and there's a lot of Russian and Chinese brand names as well. So there's, you know, very good mixture of stuff. I mean, again, it's reasonably priced. I mean, when I was here, when I first came 9 years ago, Ashan was just, you know, the place to come because everything was so cheap. It was, busy, constantly busy. Plenty of cat food available. Now, there was kind of a little bit of a news story that I read talking about that there may become shortages of, different sort of pet food brands. But even some of the major suppliers have sort of said that they'll keep supplying Russia because it's kind of essential items. You know, things for babies, things for pets and things like that. So, these are definitely still full. Yeah, there's a few spots missing here and there, but that'd be very normal in any supermarket, you know. So I hope this kind of gives you a good perspective of how is the supermarket shopping on the 18th of March 2022 here in Moscow. Now, I'm going to point out one thing that some people keep telling me, Moscow isn't Russia. I mean, it is Russia, but it's obviously not regional areas of Russia. It's not, the far east of Russia. I mean, I don't understand that completely. I mean, I live in the suburbs of Moscow. I don't consider myself living in Moscow center, where is the, the big buildings and the big skyscrapers and the luxury apartments. So yeah, it's still, Moscow is still Russia. I'm sure people will argue against me at all times. I mean, let me know in the comments what you think. You know, it's very interesting kind of read people's feedback, especially in the last few videos. You know, lots and lots of comments posted. You guys need some pens. 3 rubles 99 per pen. There's the book section right here. So we've made it over to the baby food aisle, I guess, baby aisle. And there's plenty of baby items right here. Like really a lot. There's a ton of choices. If anyone doesn't know, back in Australia, while I was on vacation from ships during COVID lockdown, I was working doing merchandising in supermarkets, and I think it was probably the hardest day of my 1.5 years working there was doing these squeezy baby foods, and there's just so many of them. You can see one guy here looking now for these online shopping that is struggling to find which one's which, because there's just never-ending amounts of them, and if you get just one out of a sink, then it just sort of flows on to the next parts. Yeah, we'll just kind of spin around and just point out here the, I guess, nappies or diapers, depending on where you are in the world. And there is still quite a lot here, you know. Now, the one thing, Ashan does have its own sort of generic home brand. I guess these white ones right here. And then you've got the, actually, there's another one there as well. Then you've got some of the different brands of nappies, diapers, what do you call them? Yeah, this is Pampers, which is a very well-known brand, and the price has definitely gone up a fair bit. If you were to compare, you know, I mean, if you're comparing it to the price with the exchange rate back to dollars and euros or pounds, it would seem very cheap. But for the average Russian, you know, where their salary hasn't gone up, prices have gone up on these sort of things quite a fair bit. Mostly also because a lot of these aren't produced or manufactured in Russia. Here's Huggies. So the fact that there'll be a kind of maybe a supply chain kind of stoppage, I guess, or what do you call it? Supply chain issue, challenges. Yeah, there's plenty of kids stuff. Alright, so this is one of the other places I did want to definitely point out, because my wife and I spoke about this, the ladies section. Now, this is kind of the general, what's there, 1, 2, 3, 4 aisles of all of the, you know, shampoos, toothpaste, body washes, hand washes, even some basic makeup, men's, shavers and things like that. So there is plenty of aisles of things, but this is a little area where the ladies section is right here. And again, because a lot of these are imported into Russia, the brands, there is going to be supply issues, and ladies are kind of stocking up, let's say. So there is definitely a few empty shelves finally to point out. I just sort of come back a little bit. There's a little bit more shoppers here. The ladies love this section, how they kind of put it away from the normal food and things like that area. So yeah, it's just interesting just to really point this out, because, you know, there is definitely certain things that are less available, and then rather the lady would just buy one package of something, the lady's buying, you know, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 of something, knowing, you know, that maybe down the track is going to be less available. And there we go, everybody. So there's plenty of Budweiser in stock. They kind of got this little pallet display right here. Plenty of Budweiser, no problems at all. And then they have just, is it 2 aisles of beer? It's crazy how many types of beer they have in this supermarket. Just to see them just keep going and going and going. Actually, we can see here Boddington's. Just trying to look at some of the international brands. You know, it's actually very reasonably priced for beer. Actually, anywhere in Moscow or in Russia where you buy it. And what they do is they put the snacks right here with the beer as well, right? So you've got your beer on one side. There's Beck's. We know Beck's. We know Heineken. That's definitely on the shelves. More Budweiser. Carlsberg. And then you'll see conveniently all the chips and salty snacks on the other side. Now, I think it would be bad of me not to show you the vodka section here in Russia. Interestingly, you know, it's not the biggest seller in the store, I mean, by a long way. I would say they probably sell far more wine, beer, and then things like cognacs and armagnacs and brandies on this side. And then there's a bit more vodka over here as well. Yeah, it's not as big as people kind of think. You know, the vodka sales. This is where we kind of swung around a bit earlier there. There's the some of the premium brands behind the shelves. Jack Daniels is definitely there. Jack Fire, Jack Honey, Jack Rye, even things that we had on the ships in the duty-free store. You know, we know so well. Salsa Tequila and all the Scottish whiskies in the corner there. And this is kind of the tobacco area as well, so you can pay for your drinks here and then get your tobacco also at the same time. Now, just walking down the pasta aisle here, it's definitely got plenty of stock here, or here on the shelves. Again, this is kind of going to be a little bit edited and a bit cropped and chopped here and there, so it's actually would probably be a couple of hour video if I walk around the whole sort of supermarket aisle by aisle. Here's some instant noodles, and then we've got the tuna and canned fish just sort of on the end of this aisle over here. And then there's Russian favorite pickles and what is it, like vegetables in vinegar? I'm not sure. There's pickled everything here. Pickled tomatoes, pickled anything you can get pickled is in a jar right here on this shelf. So, and then peas, corn. Yeah, there's Heinz right there. It's a bit mixed up on the wrong shelf, but it's still on the shelf there. And then where is the other Heinz? The Heinz corn over here. So you kind of wonder where these are manufactured. I'd say they're probably made in Russia under license. We'll take a bit of a walk through the fruit and veg area here. You know, onions. And I'm not here to kind of name everything and point everything out. You know, everything is very normal compared to probably where most people live in the world. One difference that you'll see in Russia, though, is they have washed and unwashed vegetables. This is carrots, obviously, here. So 49 rubles if you want them unwashed, and then 79 rubles if you want them washed. So you can choose Здравствуйте if you want them washed or unwashed. And they've got the same for potatoes here as well. 42 rubles. Yeah, they're not very big potatoes right here. These are quite small potatoes, but it's very much a staple here. You've got the bagged ones as well. One thing I'll just sort of show you here, this is kind of you've got the little country flag. So depending on where they're made, where they come from, they've got a country flag. Now I'm pretty sure we probably won't see too many non-Russian flags around. It's always a bit of a struggle to find something that's non-Russian. Mangoes, coconuts, the size of those mangoes over there. Big mangoes. It's always a bit of a hive of activity in the fruit and veg section anytime you're coming in Ashan. There's oranges, lemons, mandarins, apples are front and center. So yeah, plenty of apple choices. Tomatoes. Yeah, sorry, I'm just kind of walking around. Again, this is a specific kind of video just to point out, you know, what the supermarket looks like, what it feels like. A lot of choices of cucumbers by size here. You got small, medium, large. Again, all Russian flags. I was hoping to find I'm from Australia.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you're from Russia?
Yes.
From Moscow?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Moscow region.
No, no.
Nice. And you come shopping? Your favorite time to come, yeah? Or you're just pushing the trolley around? The lady shopping. Nice.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks. I'm from Australia, so it's very different to see big supermarket like this, you know, so it's very interesting. But I've lived here 9 years, so I know this place very well, but I make videos for YouTube about,
YouTube?
yeah, like traveling in Russia, living here, and so now your wife's choosing which size she wants. So many choices of cucumber. If you want to watch, it's called Traveling with Russell. So you'll probably forget later, it's okay. Traveling with Russell.
Oh, good luck.
No, thank you. Nice. You know, there's interesting when you meet people that speak English and then they get a little bit sort of shy. I mean, they know to speak English, they can speak English, but then they're just hesitant. There we go, there's something from Turkey right there. You see all the flags, and then it's one of these tomatoes that are from Turkey. Actually, these are what we had last night. We had the Spider-Man tomatoes for our dinner last night. I guess it's sort of for children. I guess my wife knows me too well. Yeah, cucumbers and tomatoes are kind of a staple when it comes to making like salad or something for the table when you have dinner. One thing I will sort of show you here is how small the frozen section is in comparison to the whole supermarket. It's not very big at all. It's really, you know, only a few different types of items. The one thing you can do here too is you can buy by weight. This guy's getting shrimps or prawns, I guess. You literally just sort of, you're meant to use a scoop, but people just use their hands because they're definitely frozen. And you've got all different types here, the seafood mix, and you scoop it in by the kilo. And then you just weigh out the bag, and off you go. Yeah, there's a few frozen vegetables. These are all frozen seafood over here. And then you've got the more frozen seafood at the back over here as well. Yeah, there's very little frozen items in Russian supermarkets. And what's a Russian supermarket without bread? Now these guys have a huge bakery back here. Like it's really like huge, where they do all their own baking in-house. They have huge facility. But you know, the amount of bread that gets sold here is like a staple of Russian shopping. Здравствуйте. So yeah, the amount of people just buying bread, and you know, if they kind of go half a day without kind of putting out new stock, the place is empty, you know. And bread is very cheap compared with the price for Australia. It's very, very, very cheap. A lot of different, you know, like gourmet breads, I guess you would call it. But even for gourmet bread, you'd be struggling to find any loaf of bread here under $1. Even that's US dollars, Australian dollars. So it's very cheap. This is actually right when you walk in too. This is actually the third entrance where I didn't walk in, but always where people are stopping and picking up their daily bread, I guess you would call it. And then you've got donuts right here. We'll just have a look at the meat section here. So there's kind of the chicken section in the background. These couple of sets of refrigerators, just chicken. And you've got beef, pork, lamb here, kind of mixed in together. Kind of all of the packaged meats that you'd be kind of very used to at home in Australia, in America, in, you know, most normal supermarkets. It's very normal. And you've got the fish section over here as well, which there's a lot of cured fish in Russia. That's very, very common. It's cured fish. And you've even got fish in the tank here. If you don't want to go to see the aquarium with your kids, you bring them here to Ashan, and you see looks like swordfish. I'm not sure the type. And there's plenty of different seafoods right here. You know, actually, we wouldn't typically buy fish here if we were to buy fish. We would buy it at the local rynek or market where we live in Aprelivka, which is much closer to our house for starters. We don't have to carry things all the way home. There's all the crab, you know, all the processed crab. You know, it wouldn't be, this is really not our common supermarket to come shopping to. We'll come in here if we come to the mall, but we wouldn't typically do our kind of trolley kind of shopping like you see everyone sort of pushing around. Plenty of choices of salmon. Now I'll take you down my kind of favorite aisle here, which is the chocolate section. So you've got every choice you possibly like. There's the in-house sort of generic kind of brands. And then Alpine Gold is my current favorite one. Milka, but Milka has gone up a little bit too much in price. If I compare a bar of Milka now to only 2 weeks ago, it's gone up a lot. But there's still a lot of foreign brands here. You'll see Lindt that we saw, the store was closed if you watch the shopping center video. Yeah, Kit Kat. So these are pretty much all made either in Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, and different sort of regions within the Russia, if that makes sense. They're not necessarily imported. There's plenty of Kinders there if anybody's a Kinder Surprise person. They have a lot of other kind of similar copies to Kinder, if that makes sense. There's even a Chupa Chup one where you get the toy inside as well. Chewing gums. Here's the packaged candy. So there's a lot of choices. Chupa Chups, M&Ms. So yeah, the very Western brands that we know are here. They're on the shelves. Some are on special as well. Now we'll see where it looks busy now when you see everybody at the aisles. At the checkouts, at the end of the aisles. Where it just sort of just ramps up and gets busier. Right here, you can see that's very quickly. And we're down at register number 50 over here. So if we just spin around, I'd say probably about 3/4 of them are all open. All the way back down the shopping center here, or in the supermarket. Getting my words mixed up when I'm talking now. Yeah, more. This is all the biscuits, kind of like dry biscuits and tea biscuits. There's Loka right there, which we were buying in Australia. I think it's German wafer biscuits. Everyone knows Loka. Here we're in the tea and coffee aisle. Plenty of choices of teas. So we've got tea on one side and then coffee on the other. So there's still a lot of... a lot. That's why you just see people just standing staring, because maybe the guy's been sent shopping, or you know, his wife's told him to come and buy tea, and then he comes in this aisle and he just doesn't know which one to buy. You know, it's too many choices. Even the coffee. Have a look, they just keep going and going. Nescafe. So for quite a while I've been walking around filming all of these little parts for you guys, and I was looking for sugar. Now, if I just knew that was sugar there with a little spoon. Now, the one thing is that this is where one of the shortages is sort of starting already here in Russia, is that there's little or no sugar. There's different, I guess, substitutes for sugar, but not the actual traditional cubes that we know, and the square sugar cubes that you would get traditionally in Russia. That would be, you know, costing, you know, 86 rubles for a box, which is less than $1 or so. Oh, здравствуйте. Oh, so yeah, I was kind of walking around, and then this is salt right here. Actually, I knew this was salt because I bought this before myself. Oh, sorry. So yeah, plenty of salt available, but it's the sugar that's the big issue And there's plenty of oils as well. And then this is flour here. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you some of the staple items. I've been walking around, and maybe the video is right at the end here, but we did finally find one of the things I was looking for. There was 2 or 3 things I wanted to make sure I got definitely in the video. Here's all the baking area here for making the cakes and different things like that, and pastries. Plenty of different varieties here. Okay everybody, so we've kind of come to the end of our walk around of Ashan here in Moscow region. So I thought I'd sort of just slowly end the video here. I hope the video has come across okay. Got a bit of an idea of what it's like in a hypermarket or big supermarket here. Ashans are all over Russia, by the way. This is not the only one, or one of only a few of them. They're a very common branded major supermarket chain throughout Russia. And they're just huge. Again, this is not where I live particularly, but I don't mind coming out here to make the video, just coming to the shopping center as well, walking around. So yeah, traveling with Russell. Thank you everybody. A massive thank you to any new subscribers to the channel. We're nearing 1,000 subscribers, which is just amazing. We've pretty much doubled the amount of people who are subscribers to the channel in about a week and a half, which is just crazy for me to think. Yeah, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Again, as I've sort of talked about throughout the video, put a comment, maybe just talking about what we've seen. Yeah, thanks everybody. See you in another video. Bye.